Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about the possibility of a Poirier versus Makhachev sometime in the summer. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Some speculations on a Poirier Makhachev sometime in the summer. It sounds exciting. There are many guys in that lightweight division that I believe deserve a title shot, Poirier included. And we can also add other names to Poirier, the likes of Gaethje, obviously Oliveira, Tsarukyan have a fight coming up. And either one of those guys deserve a title shot. Tsarukyan already faced, obviously, Makhachev, so did Oliveira, but we're talking about Poirier here. I would be super excited to see a Poirier versus a Makhachev. I believe since the Khabib fight, Poirier must have improved on his ground game and his ground the takedown defense. It really bothered me when people compare Islam to Khabib Nurmagomedov. I understand that the style is somewhat similar, but the two fighters are different. And if you pay attention to the way they fight, you'd see how that they are different. There are holes in Islam Makhachev's game, and it's just unfair to compare him to Khabib Nurmagomedov. Point is, we cannot look at the Khabib-Poirier fight and make our assumption based off that. If anything, I believe that first fight makes Poirier stronger because he went against the better version of Islam Makhachev, with all respect to the champion of the lightweight division. But I believe Poirier is one of those fighters, if the fight especially stays standing, gives Islam Makhachev a tough time, I believe. Stand-up, especially boxing, Poirier is leaps ahead of Islam Makhachev. But we all know the Dagestani pressure, and if these guys get a single or double leg on you, they're going to take you down. Like I said earlier, I believe if this fight was to happen, it's going to depend on two things. How well can Islam keep up with Poirier's stand-up, and how well can Poirier keep up with Islam's wrestling? Because I believe that's what it comes down to. Even though we cannot rely solely on those two things, like we cannot rely solely on Islam to wrestle or Poirier to strike, even though that's the most obvious thing, because that's what these fighters naturally resort to when it's time to fight. These guys, one of them is a wrestler, the other one's a striker, so you expect to see that unfold during the fight. Obviously with guys that like to shoot a lot, utilizing the knee is a huge one. We saw that happen a couple times Saturday night. So it's very interesting. I believe it's hard to predict outcome of fights, obviously, but you can look at past results and try to come up with somewhat of a conclusion or something close to a conclusion, and we would still be far off the mark. But I would assume that Poirier knows what to expect after fighting the better fighter of the two, between Islam and Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he would implement that directly in a fight against Islam Makhachev. I believe that Poirier standing up is a better striker than Islam Makhachev, and I believe if Poirier has improved in his takedown defense, then it would give him that much better of a chance of defeating Islam. I believe that Islam can be knocked out, and I believe that Poirier has the power, the technique, and the speed, as well as the accuracy and the experience to knock Islam Makhachev out. And if he was to do that, I would believe that it would be well deserved. Poirier is a legend of the game already, and now we're getting to the, let's say, the latter stages of his career. I believe he's a fighter that deserves to be decorated with the actual 155 belt. With all respect to the current champion, Islam Makhachev, but I don't look at him as the undefeated fighter that Khabib Nurmagomedov was, and that's the fighter that Poirier fought. Poirier fought Khabib in his prime. So if you were to keep up with Khabib, and obviously didn't keep up with Khabib, but if you were to fight, you fought Khabib, I believe a Islam fight is going to be the easier fight of the two. This is just my thoughts. Obviously, no disrespect to none of the fighters here, but I believe that Poirier would be the closer fighter if he is able to defend takedowns and keep the fight standing. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.